so involving young singers, young like children.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's insane.
He makes R. Kelly look like a decent guy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It is crazy.
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours.
Imagine the baby pitmaker as a young lad trapped in a terrifying web of power and manipulation, rather than as a worldwide teen phenomenon living the dream. What if everything you believed you knew about Justin Bieber's ascent to stardom was a well-planned illusion? It seems like a narrative twist from a Netflix documentary series. But Joe Rogan's stoic, uncompromising, and battling to contain his emotions in the middle of the show as he takes the full weight of Bieber's reality is real life, and it's heavier than anybody anticipated. In a recent shocking occurrence that has been cut, quoted, and discussed online, please remember to like and subscribe to this video. It is free and helps us provide you with entertaining material. You should also watch it through to the finish. Joe Rogan sat down to analyze recently leaked court documents that included behind-the-scenes video and terrifying testimony from Justin Bieber himself. The topics included the murky side of celebrity and, in particular, Bieber's horrific early years, which were purportedly influenced and managed by none other than Sean Diddy Combs. What transpired was more than simply an interview. It was an emotional dissection of a pop star's background, as well as a society that has accepted exploitation behind private planes and velvet ropes. Let's get started with the shocking disclosures, the gut-punching moments of the interview, and the reasons why Rogan's emotional reaction isn't justified are a wake-up call for all of us. We all watched the YouTube videos of a little child with swoopy hair singing his heart out on the steps of a Canadian theater. And the next thing we knew, he was on stage with Usher, signing record deals and being surrounded by yelling fans. However, what if that Cinderella story was more like a trap? According to the documents Joe Rogan reviewed on air, Justin's sudden rise wasn't due to talent or timing. Rather, it was the result of deliberate grooming by influential members of the music industry. And Diddy, a music mogul with a reputation for controlling his protégés, was reportedly at the center of it all. At the time, Justin was just a teenager, surrounded by adults, managers, agents, and executives whose interests weren't necessarily aligned with his well-being, while the world witnessed a happy boy performing on stage. Bieber was allegedly kept apart from his family, had his schedule meticulously planned, was under constant pressure to perform, and was accused of emotional manipulation, contract violations. And perhaps most disturbing of all, setting that accepted his vulnerability and weariness, why didn't he speak out sooner? Why didn't we notice? The answers go beyond contracts and celebrity, and Joe Rogan's episode begins to reveal those layers. But wait until you hear what the leaked footage revealed next. The video was grainy, time-stamped, and never intended for public release. It showed a young Justin, barely 15, at a private party with adults, none of whom were his age. His relatives. The clip itself may not immediately scream scandal, but when combined with the date and context, it presents a far more alarming picture. Diddy momentarily appears in the corner of the shot, grinning. "This is not okay," Joe Rogan stated, his voice quivering slightly when he paused during the program to examine the tape in real time. His countenance changed from interest to worry, and finally to shock. "That's a kid. That's an *****ing child," he added. If you've ever looked at an old picture of yourself when you were happy and realized the sadness hiding in plain sight, you'll notice that Bieber appears uneasy throughout the video. He laughs when others laugh, but the eyes convey a different message of detachment, confusion, and unease.
Justin Bieber had a post the other day on his Instagram talking about all the drugs that he did when he was younger and how much it fucked him up. And now he's got a relationship with the Lord, and he's got, he's married, and he's trying to be a normal person.
Yeah.
But he's struggling with the fact that he was insanely famous when he was a kid.
Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, he could buy you one also while you're
He
out.
got me a Lamborghini.
Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
And the gut punch of that moment. But the most unsettling aspect is that, according to court documents currently being reviewed, this footage is only the tip of the iceberg. Years of actions and circumstances left Bieber with psychological scars that lasted a lifetime. So how did he handle this? This is where the real heartbreak starts, as an off-camera deposition was recently leaked online. At last, Bieber spoke his feelings openly and without his typical polished PR tone. He said that I wasn't free and that I couldn't go home or visit my mother when I wanted to, and that I couldn't even weep without someone warning me that it would damage the brand. He continued by describing a life that seemed to be a machine in which every feeling had to be viewed through the prism of financial gain. He was a product, not simply a sentimental youngster, and Diddy, in Bieber's account, was in control. After reading Bieber's statement, Roger, who was clearly upset, paused for a while on air. He wasn't only reading words. He was seeing the weight of a 10-year quiet. The reason so many kid stars fall and burn is finally breaking this. You give a child the world, but you take away their agency, he added. Reading tabloids that speculate about celebrity breakdowns is one thing. Hearing from a celebrity that their whole persona was created, marketed, and run like a company is one thing. But how did Justin eventually break free? Both leaked court documents and public interviews indicate that Justin Bieber's recovery took time. It required a near-stressful breakdown, a significant separation from his team, and a return to faith and family in order to start the process of rebuilding himself. One of the more startling things Rogan revealed was how Bieber discreetly cut off contact with a number of his former handlers, leaving Los Angeles and adopting a more solitary lifestyle. He re-established contact with his wife Haley as a support anchor, started going to therapy, and began talking more candidly about his mental health, even if it meant jeopardizing his reputation. I had to pick me. In a transcript of a therapy session, Bieber stated Rogan was obviously moved by this intense reclaiming of self. This raw and agonizing rebirth, even if it meant losing everything else. He's not perfect, none of us are, but wow, he made it through something terrible and he's standing now. If you think that Bieber's story is unique, think again. Rogan stressed that the machine thrives on silence, NDAs, and the glamorization of the grind. These are kids being sold to the highest bidder. Rogan, a man known for his strength and skepticism, couldn't ignore the emotional gravity of what Bieber endured. He said in a low voice while holding back tears that survival wasn't just what happened, it was fought for. From Britney Spears to Lindsay Lohan and now Justin Bieber, Rogan stated, "We call it opportunity." The pattern is eerily consistent. Early popularity, adult control, emotional breakdown, and, if they're lucky, a comeback tale. But far too many never reach that last chapter. Rogan's willingness to sit with the pain and not move on quickly or crack a joke to diffuse the tension was what shocked viewers the most about this episode. As he concluded, Rogan said something that has since gone viral. If we don't start protecting these kids, we'll continue to watch them fall apart and pretend we're surprised. So where do we go from here? As disturbing as this all is, there is hope in the fallout. Bieber is at last at peace. The public is beginning to demand transparency. And podcasters like Rogan are prepared to face criticism in order to voice their opinions. However, action is necessary for true change. Fans must cease viewing celebrity as a one-way path to pleasure. Young stars should no longer be treated like commodities by the business. And maybe more crucially, these tales should continue to be shared because the more light we shine, the less space there is for darkness. What do you think should happen to the entertainment industry for what it has done to young stars like Justin Bieber? Should we demand stronger protections for child artists? If this article made you feel good, that's just the beginning. These stories aren't just gossip, they're cautionary tales for the modern era. Put your ideas aside. Distribute this article at your dinner table, in your group chat, or on your own platform. Strike up a discussion because truth protects the top. The weak and quiet protects the strong. Let's create some sound. Let's change everything.